D-Day for Theresa May. Tonight, her shambles of a Brexit deal goes to the parliamentary vote. After a month of delaying and holding back and trying as hard as she could to not get it through the parliamentary vote, to not have to hold it up in the parliamentary arena, it's finally happening. 7 o'clock tonight, MPs will walk through one of two doors and they will decide whether her vote, her deal, is the one that they want to leave the EU with. And she is widely expected to lose by a margin of at least 200 votes by some accounts. That will make it the single worst defeat for any Prime Minister in 95 years. Now, she's of course not saying what she will do if and when she ultimately loses this vote, but I think there will be multiple calls for her to resign, at the very least. Labour and Jeremy Corbyn is already calling for a general election because she's cack-handed this so much. So what happens now? Well, the news will start coming in at about 9-10 o'clock tonight, whether she's won or not. And I would lay my last penny on her losing this vote. It's guaranteed to happen, practically. 200 votes is a substantial margin. So what happens now? Well, what I think we should do, leave the EU in March without a deal, although that's very unlikely to happen anyway, but in the ultimate scenario, we should leave the EU in March without a deal. Yes, there will be effects. Yes, things will happen. No, it will be nowhere near the level of catastrophe that many in the Remain camp are making it out to be. The nuclear warheads won't all launch at once, all the computers won't crash, planes won't fall out of the sky. There will be some effects, no doubt. We've been part of the EU for 40 years. Of course there will be effects. But at the end of the day, we'll be fine. Crash out of the EU, no deal. Then, once those effects that I mentioned start coming in, once we start having shortages of this and that, etc., once the M25 becomes a car park or whatever is going to happen, then we can say general election time. And then we will see a Labour landslide. The Tories will be electoral oblivion for at least a generation, in my opinion. The EU has brought down Thatcher, it brought down Major, it brought down Cameron, and now we may very well be on the very cusp, on the very urge, on the very eve of seeing it bring down a fourth Tory Prime Minister. I fucking love Europe right now. As much as I don't like the EU, I love Europe. I love the whole project as a whole because it is decimated. Four now Tory MPs. Love it. So, after tonight, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if she's going to try and go back and hardline the EU into negotiating further or a better deal, which is pointless anyway. The EU is a bloc of 27 other nations. They do not give a shit. Just leave. Get out of the EU in March. Get on with it. They don't care. Yes, we are the 5th most powerful economy on the planet. Are we bigger than 27 other nation states? Somehow, highly doubt it. Are we more powerful than them? I highly doubt it. We're not. We're powerful, yes. Other nations outside of the EU will be willing to negotiate deals with us and things like that. Yes. Which is why we should leave in March with no deal. Let the mess roll over. See, this is where I think Jeremy Corbyn and Labour have got it wrong. They're calling for a general election now. No. That's a bad idea in my opinion, because if you call for a general election now and you win it before March and you take government before March, then you're left with the mess at the back end of Brexit and you're left with picking that up and dealing with that. Let March come and go. Let us leave the EU, be it with a deal, with no deal, whatever. Let us leave the European Union, right? And then you can come along and say, look at the mess the Tories have made. Let's pick up the pieces. Let's fix it. That's what you need to do. That's, in my opinion, what Labour needs to do now in order to become a sensible government that's not just going to get criticised for its entire term in office for its handling of the back end of Brexit. David Cameron poisoned this chalice. David Cameron called the referendum in order to stop infighting in his own party. Well, that fucking failed, didn't it? So they called the referendum. Fully expected to win. He campaigned to Remain. Fully expected to win and get a Remain vote. He got a Leave vote. So quite adequately so, quite rightly so, he resigned. And then this is where I start to get really annoyed when people say, oh, I feel so sorry for Theresa May. No, don't feel sorry for her. She knew what she was getting into. She put her name down to be the next Tory leader in the contestant, in the contest for the leadership. She put her, like Boris Johnson did, like Andrea Leadsom did, like all those other people did. She won that leadership bid. So she knew, the minute she put her name on that bit of paper that says, I want to be Tory leader, the minute she accepted that she was campaigning to be Tory leader, she knew she would have to deal with Brexit. She knew that, so I don't feel sorry for her. She knew what she was getting in for. She took the job. If she's having a bad time now, tough. And if you look at her body language, I was watching a very interesting video the other day about the body language of Theresa May. And this is from a known or a respected body language expert / psychologist. And he was saying that when she first became Prime Minister, her posture was upright, straight back, shoulders back, very confident. She was walking very, very authoritative, very confident. Now, whenever she's talking, especially when she's talking about regards to the EU, shoulders up. This is a subconscious protecting the neck, protecting vulnerable areas, which means she feels insecure, vulnerable. She's not confident. You'll see when she's talking, or when she's not talking, to be more precise, she's doing all this shit with her mouth, which is her trying not to say something wrong, not to say something out of step, or not to say the wrong thing. It's a comfort thing as well. Again, she feels very insecure, very uncomfortable, especially when she's caught out with an awkward question. Have you noticed whenever she's caught out with an awkward question, she's doing all that fucking crap? Again, that's a sign of discomfort, a sign of being uncomfortable. She put herself in this mess. Let the Tories, who started this whole shit, let them sort it out. Let them get us out of the EU, come what may. Be it a deal, be it a no deal, be it whatever. Let them do that, and then after March we can call for an election, and we're going to have a Labour government who's going to come along and sort everything out. Well, that sounded pretty naive then. I don't think for a second that a Labour government is going to fix the problems of the country overnight. Pazam. No, I don't think that's the case. But let Labour come along and sort out the pieces afterwards. That's what I think we should do. So, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear the results tonight, to hear that Theresa May has been absolutely humiliated again. Now, she survived her leadership contest. She survived her vote of confidence. She has survived a lot. She surely cannot survive this. Surely to God. This woman, if she survived this, she's got to be made of titanium. No chance in hell. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I'll chat to you about the fallout from all this. So see you next time.